Good morning, friends. Welcome to E-Taragati Education Digitalized. Today, we shall take up the discussion of 2nd August 2020, the daily Hindu newspaper analysis. So, at the onset, I would like to thank all of you for the growing support and the growing Telegram group, and how you're actively involved in writing answers and asking discussion and asking doubts with the faculty. So, thank you so much for the interaction. And we still ask you to please like, share, and subscribe and help the channel grow. Because ఇప్పుడు మనం soon, uh, in the next few weeks, we are going to start live classes. Apart from our website, etaragati.com, we would be starting live classes also. దేంట్లోనైతే మీకు ఫ్రీగా గ్రూప్ 1, గ్రూప్ 2, యూపీఎస్సి అండ్ అదర్ ఎగ్జామినేషన్స్కి కావాల్సిన మెటీరియల్ will be conducted by live classes on a wide scale. Okay, soon, అంటే మీరు you cannot imagine, like there'll be almost 3-4 live classes daily. It can be posted based in group 1, group 2, and APPSC ki alanti live classes type of active YouTube channels leave. So E-Taragati wants to be the pioneer in that, and to conduct live classes we need 1,000 subscribers from you, right? So a 1,000 subscriber model tone YouTube is actually allowing us to have live classes, or else we could have started it right now. So we sincerely request you to please help us attain the figure, and please spread the channel among your friends, and spread it to various channels which you are already in, so that Etaragati can help you reach your goal very soon. And as most of you would be knowing, along with this class we also have the mains answer writing, which I shall discuss towards the end of the video. So I request all the aspirants to who are writing, please continue writing. And for the newcomers also, please take it up soon, because Group 1 mains anedi, it is going to be held in November ani Kachitanga. Yesterday we have got several indications from the petitioners who have applied for the case. And also, since many examinations need JE1, since they're being conducted on a national level also. So state level, since there's a smaller population, lesser number of candidates, conducting it wouldn't be a major logistical issue. So please take mains answer writing seriously and submit it to us. But please try to submit it by 5 p.m. Okay, 5 p.m. deadline పెట్టుకోండి, ఎందుకంటే దాని తర్వాత 5 p.m.కి ఏదైతే ఉందో వీఆర్ గివింగ్ టు ద ఫ్యాకల్టీ, అండ్ దెన్ దే కరెక్ట్, అండ్ బై 7 p.m. దే గివింగ్ ఇట్ బ్యాక్ టు అస్. సో మీరు 5 p.m. తర్వాత ఇచ్చినట్టయితే దెర్ ఇస్ అ ప్రాబ్లమ్ అండ్ ఇట్ కాన్ బి కరెక్టెడ్. సో 5 p.m. లోపలే ప్లీజ్ ట్రై టు సబ్మిట్ యువర్ ఆన్సర్స్. ఓకే, so let us begin today's news. The headlines of today is provocative action by PLA again, says the Ministry of External Affairs. So ilanti ball by ball commentary every day we're seeing, like India China ఏమవుతుందో, and yesterday there is provocative action by Chinese troops in Ladakh on August 31 అంటున్నారు. And we have taken matter of recent provocative and aggressive actions the Chinese sides, through which the diplomatic and military channels have been urged to discipline. So this is what the MEA is saying. And the Chinese side వాళ్ళు ఏమంటున్నారంటే India is breaking the consensus. India should withdraw its troops అని the Chinese side is saying. So both sides అలాగే అంటున్నారు. And the Chinese side is actually saying that China has never provoked any war or conflict and never occupied an inch of other countries' territory. This is their official stand. Of course, this is obviously what they'll say, but we've been seeing several expansionist policies by China of late. Right? Not only its thrust over Tibet in the Tawang area, but also LAC Dagera we've been seeing, or through the Belt and Road Initiative, how they're trying to capitalize on small islands. So expansionist power debate is definitely there about China, but from their side, they're saying they have never occupied an inch of other countries' territory. Even the South China Sea, if you see. South China Sea ఇష్యూలో కూడా it's a clear example of expansionist power there. So this is what is going on. And from the article or from the issue, I just want you to understand that basically both the sides are saying that each of them are doing a provocative militia to change the status quo. And India undertook measures to strengthen the position. Now, India has maintained that it carried out these measures on its side of LAC, near south bank of Pangong Tso. So these places are actually important. Pangong Tso, and Chinese troops have crossed the LAC in Depsang Plains and Gogra Hot Spring area. So Depsang, Gogra Hot Spring. Hirindu also you should remember. Similarly, there are some other areas here. Pangong Tso Lake we have seen. There is the Requin Pass in the western sector of China-India border. This which we discussed yesterday. Okay, so these areas are actually important. So please take note of them. And China released remarks made by foreign minister following a speech during an official visit to France, saying Beijing will not be first to complicate or escalate the situation. That is their stand. Okay, that's it. That's what's required. Actually, if you see yesterday's headlines was this. So Ninnati Daniki, this is continuation. Yesterday also we have seen several geographical locations. So at this point of stage, since there is not much analysis which can be made, I would just ask you to remember the geographical points. Like see, from yesterday kuda Pangong Lake and Requin Mountain Pass annaru near Rezangla. So ఇలాంటివి అడగచ్చు match the following లో. Where are these located? Okay. Chushul kuda ఒక area which we discussed. This is where the border commander level flag meeting was held. All right. So the next headlines is that telcos get 10 years to pay AGR dues to the government. So Supreme Court ఇప్పుడు recently yesterday they allowed the telecom companies 10 years to pay their adjusted gross revenues dues to government. Government has actually proposed a formula of 20-year formula for telcos, and the formula was devised after extensive debate. And after the part payment also they would have a due of 1.43 lakh crore. Okay. So basically what exactly is AGR అని మీకు ఈ ఆర్టికల్ నుంచి అర్థం కాదు. So here's a small background by Eetharagati. So our content creators actually they work very hard in the morning to give you the best of the content. We choose and we select the best content exam ki edi useful, and we also give the background information so that you understand the issue in depth. So ikkada the background information is AGR అనేది it stands for adjusted gross revenue, and that is the basis on which the Department of Telecom calculates levies payable by mobile operators. Okay, so adoka metric adi it is calculated from a company's gross revenues. Now adjusted gross revenue ante enti? It is the usage and licensing fee that telecom operators are charged by the Department of Telecommunications. So basically DOT అనేది government body, it is Department of Telecommunications, and it infers some fee on the telecom operators. So ఇప్పుడు జియో కానీ ఎయిర్టెల్ కానీ వోడాఫోన్ వీటిపైన there is a fee for their telecom services which they provide. And దానిలో 2 types ఉన్నాయి the AGR లో. There is spectrum usage charges and the licensing fee. So spectrum can be 3 to 5% and licensing fee is 8%. So this is the AGR which has to be paid, okay, from the company's revenues. Now AGR అనేది ప్రాబ్లం ఏంటంటే ఇప్పుడు ప్రెసెంట్ కేస్ ప్రాబ్లమ్ ఇస్ ఇట్ ఇస్ యాక్చువల్లీ 14-year కేస్, చాలా ఇయర్స్ నుంచి నడుస్తుంది ఇది 2006 నుంచి, అండ్ ఇట్ రిలేట్స్ టు మొబైల్ ఆపరేటర్స్ లాగ్డ్ ఇన్ అ లీగల్ బ్యాటిల్ విత్ గవర్నమెంట్ ఓవర్ డెఫినేషన్ ఆఫ్ ద టర్మ్ AGR. సో అసలు AGR అంటే ఏంటి అని, అఫ్ కోర్స్ దిస్ ఇస్ ద ఆ గ్రాస్ రెవెన్యూ నుంచి వాళ్ళు ఎంత పే చేయాలో దట్ ఈస్ ద మీనింగ్ ఆఫ్ AGR. బట్ టెలికామ్ ప్రొవైడర్స్ దే ఆర్ సేయింగ్ దట్ AGR షుడ్ ఇంక్లూడ్ రెవెన్యూ ఫ్రమ్ కోర్ ఆపరేషన్స్ ఓన్లీ. అంటే మేము టెలికామ్ సర్వీసెస్ కదా, మేము చేసే టెలికామ్ సర్వీసెస్తో వచ్చే మనీ నుంచి విల్ గివ్ అంటున్నారు. అదర్ సోర్సెస్ it shouldn't be included in AGR. But the DOT is saying that AGR low there should also be non-core revenue, like revenue from sale of assets, interest on deposits, rental income, all such things. సో మీరు డిపాజిట్ చేసినప్పుడు దానికి వచ్చే ఇంట్రెస్ట్ అక్కడ కూడా యూఆర్ ఎర్నింగ్ రెవెన్యూ. సిమిలర్లీ ఇఫ్ యూ సేల్ ఆఫ్ అసెట్స్ అంటే మర్జర్ ఎక్విజిషన్ అలాంటి అసెట్స్ సేల్ అయినప్పుడు కూడా విత్ అదర్ కంపెనీస్ అప్పుడు కూడా యూ గెటింగ్ రెవెన్యూ. సో ఆల్ దోస్ ఆల్సో షుడ్ బి ఇంక్లూడ్ ఇన్ ఏజీఆర్ అని దట్ ఈస్ ద డిపార్ట్మెంట్ ఆఫ్ టెలికమ్యూనికేషన్ స్టాండ్. సో ఇలా గొడవ నడుస్తుంది. అండ్ అక్టోబర్ 2019లో దట్ ఈస్ వెన్ ద బిగ్ లీగల్ రూలింగ్ కేమ్ ఫ్రమ్ సుప్రీం కోర్ట్. It told that the telecom companies have to pay fines and penalties on the unpaid fees other than termination fee and roaming charges. So the Supreme Court has told that the telecom companies will have to immediately clear AGR pending dues, which is nearly 1.47 lakh crores. So DOT ఇచ్చిన డెఫినేషన్ ఒప్పుకొని సుప్రీం కోర్ట్ has told మీరు నాట్ ఓన్లీ కోర్ సర్వీసెస్ బట్ మీకు వచ్చే అదర్ రెవెన్యూ మీద కూడా యూ షుడ్ పే AGR అని. And the court allowed the center to recover over 92,000 crore from already stressed within 3 months. 3 months deadline అక్టోబర్లో ఇచ్చారు. ఓకే, అంటే అక్టోబర్లో ఇస్తే నవంబర్ డిసెంబర్ జనవరి లోపు 92,000 crores పే చేయమని చెప్పారు. అండ్ దీనివల్ల వోడాఫోన్ అండ్ ఎయిర్టెల్ దే హైక్ their tariffs. And in Feb 2020 the Supreme Court condemned the mobile operators for non-payment. So Supreme Court warned also మీరు if you don't pay by March 17th మీ పైన కంటెంప్ట్ ఆఫ్ కోర్ట్ ప్రొసీడింగ్స్ కూడా ఇస్తామన్నారు. మరి దాని తర్వాత ఆబ్వియస్లీ కోవిడ్ పాండమిక్ వచ్చింది అండ్ ద కేస్ వాస్ పుట్ బ్యాక్. అండ్ నౌ లైక్ ఎస్టర్డే వాట్ హ్యాపెండ్ వాస్ ఒక 10 year వరకు మీరు ఉండే అడ్జస్టెడ్ గ్రాస్ రెవెన్యూ షుడ్ బి పేడ్ టు ద గవర్నమెంట్ అని ద రూలింగ్ కేమ్. ఆల్ రైట్, so that is the background and now I think you can understand this. 10 years low the AGR has to be paid and this includes the non-telecom services also. Government actually 20 and so Supreme Court 10 years and as I told you in the October 2019 judgment, here the Supreme Court originally wanted the telecos to make repayment in 3 months. Fine. And ippudu due to the COVID-19 pandemic the Supreme Court softened its stance to allow companies to pay within a reasonable time, 10 years in equal yearly installments. So 10%, 10%, 10% కట్టుకుంటా 10 years వరకు they can pay అని అన్నారు. Due to the financial stress and involvement in the banking sector వల్ల this has changed. Okay, that is the gist of the article. And the court said that they shall raise no dispute whether there will be any reassessment of the dues. So the telecom operators, they would make the payment of 10% of total dues by March 31st, 2021. And the yearly installments would commence from April 2021 up to 2031 వరకు. March 2031 వరకు every year they should pay. And the MD, chairman and other authorities, they should give an undertaking within 4 months to make the payment of arrears. Now telecom majors like Vodafone, they told that they were in no position to give fresh bank guarantees for repayment of AGR dues. And అక్కడ default అయ్యారనుకోండి, if they're not able to pay, then the interest would become payable along with the penalty. And contempt of court కూడా పడుతుంది వాళ్ళ పైన. Okay, so this is the ruling which came yesterday. This is a very important issue in infrastructure of Indian economy. Under GS3. So both for prelims and mains, you should know AGR dues ఏంటి. And definitely ఇప్పుడు వచ్చిన current judgment also, you should be aware of it. And in the ముందు ఇష్యూకి ఇంకొంచెం ఎక్స్టెన్షన్గా ఇప్పుడు we have seen non-telecom services కూడా they should be money అని. So non-telecom companies, they have nearly 3,500 telecom licenses. like to provide internet and national long distance services. ఎలాంటివంటే like um, they got the demand notice of 3 lakh crore of combined license fee, like Gale India, PGCIL, Oil India, Railtel Corporation. For example, Railtel అనేది it is involved in for the internet access, or the telecommunication for the railways. So వాళ్ళు కూడా telecom, I mean, since they obviously it comes under the Ministry of Railways, but they also come under the non-telecom PSUs. So they also have to pay. సో ఇప్పుడు ఇష్యూ ఏంటంటే ద పే అవుట్ బై టెలికామ్ అండ్ నాన్ టెలికామ్ కంపెనీస్ విల్ లీడ్ టు అ విండ్ ఫాల్ గెయిన్. అంటే విల్ ఆబ్వియస్లీ ద గవర్నమెంట్ విల్ గెట్ అ హ్యూజ్ గెయిన్, అండ్ వీ హ్యావ్ సీన్ హౌ ద ఫిజికల్ డెఫిసిట్ ఇంత ఇట్ హెస్ బిన్ గ్రోయింగ్ ఫర్ ద గవర్నమెంట్. సో దీనివల్ల దే విల్ బీ పాజిటివ్ ఫర్ ద గవర్నమెంట్, but the government will be under pressure to ensure that telecom market does not turn into a duopoly. If Vodafone Idea, if they decide to shut shop, if they exit, duopoly between Jio and Airtel, ఇవి రెండింటి మధ్య టెలికామ్ షుడెంట్ బి cornered. And the government should also manage that the payouts should be done by non-telecom companies like Oil India, Power Grid, and Delhi Metro Rail companies, because avarni public sector units. And another challenges, like we've seen in the court ruling also, the AGR issue wala there is a lot of panic in the banking industry, because the telecom sector ivanni they are highly leveraged. So they run on extreme number of bank loans. If you see Vodafone Idea, only Vodafone Idea has around 2.2 lakh crore debt to expand infrastructure and fund spectrum payments. So ఇలాంటి హ్యూజ్ ఎఫెక్ట్ టెలికాం పైన పడుతుంది, అలాగే బ్యాంకింగ్ పైన పడుతుంది, అండ్ అల్టిమేట్లీ ఇండియన్ ఎకానమీ పైన పడుతుంది. ఓకే, సో టేక్ కేర్ ఆఫ్ దిస్. సో ఇన్ఫ్రాస్ట్రక్చర్తో రిలేట్ చేస్తూ యూ షుడ్ షో హౌ టెలికాం కంపెనీస్ పైన ఎఫెక్ట్ పడింది, బ్యాంకింగ్ అండ్ ఎకానమీ. Then of course there's some positives, like the government will get money and non-telecom services nunchi kuda revenues got, but there are some challenges to be met also. But please note, it's a very important judgment. Last year nunchi the debate was going on, and he put 10-year limit icharu, which is a very big change. Okay, the next is APPSC related. Eval paper lo there's not much APPSC related, only two news, that two not very important news, only two news are related to the group 1 examinations. The NGT South Zone, it constituted a 4-member joint committee to probe into the damage done at mangrove mudflat at Kumbhabhishekam near Kakinada. Okay, Kumbhabhishekam ఏదైతే mangrove mudflat ఉందో by GMR Energy Limited and East Coast Concession Private Limited, వీళ్ళు ఎలా mangrove mudflats ని ప్రాబ్లం చేస్తున్నారు. Now NGT is taking up, the National Green Tribunal, because the GMR and EPCL they had dredged mudflat on the seafront to transport its decommissioned barge mounted power plant and dumped it on the mudflat. So this is going on, and some environmental activists like EAS Sharma and wetland expert Mrityunjay Rao, they moved the NGT. So ఇప్పుడు వచ్చింది because they claim that the area fell under the CRZ 1. So the NGT should take it up now, ani. And the panel will look into the nature of damage done to the mangrove mudflat due to alleged dumping, the construction of bund, and effects on the eco-sensitive zone of the Koringa Wildlife Sanctuary. So Kakinada Dagira, as you know, there is this Koringa Wildlife Sanctuary. So దానిపైన ఏం ఎఫెక్ట్ పడుతుంది, now it will be seen. And also the mangrove at Kumbhabhishekam mudflat is one of the prime habitat for two birds, great knot, which is an endangered species, and Indian skimmer, which is vulnerable. Okay, so remember these: great knot and Indian skimmer. Okay, And regarding COVID, the update is for last 7 days, every day there has been 10,000 COVID infections in AP, and the death toll has crossed 4,000 mark as 84 new cases have been reported. Okay, just be aware of the figure, uh, not only for exam but for your daily understanding also. మీ చుట్టూ ఏమవుతుందో you should be knowing. Okay. Now let us come to the editorial page. Like yesterday, we have seen that the according to national estimates, there is a 23.9% GDP negative April to June quarter low, right? In the contraction in the April to June quarter low 23.9%. And this obviously because of the stringent COVID-19 lockdowns through the first third of the quarter. So private consumption spending, which accounts for 60% of GDP, it contracted 26%, and exports, which contribute to fifth of GDP and reflect overseas demand for Indian goods, it shrank 20%. So private consumption 60%, it contracted 26%, and exports contracted 20%, investment 47% తగ్గింది, and GDP share of GDP investment లో 22% అయింది. So every industry sank except agriculture. Agriculture actually 3 నుంచి 3.4 పెరిగింది కదా. This is because, like I've told yesterday, because of the reverse migration ఏదైతే అవుతుందో laborers లో, who have come from the big cities and they're going back to the villages and taking up the agricultural activities. So agriculture has grown, మిగతా అంతా తక్కువైంది. Construction, for example, it has plunged 50%, followed by trade, hotels, communication, transport and broadcasting, which rank 47%, and manufacturing 39%. So ఇలా అన్ని తగ్గింది. ఇప్పుడు the editorial is saying that it was left to the government to keep the bottom from falling out of the demand. As you know, the center's pandemic mitigation expenditure helped expand its consumption spending by 16.4% year on year. But with the fiscal deficit already exceeded the full year's budgeted deficit and revenue receipts impacted economic contraction, the government cannot maintain a similar trend in expenditure. So there should be fiscal conservatism, and trajectory of new COVID infections and a high level of job losses ఏదైతే అవుతుందో, it will also retard any recovery in the momentum. But latest గా ఇప్పుడు వచ్చిన IHS market manufacturing PMI, which we shall discuss in this video towards the end of it. IHS market index లో ఏమొచ్చిందంటే, there is growth for the first time in 5 months, and also stress that job shedding continues at a strong rate. Okay. And agriculture also faces headwinds in form of higher than ideal rainfall in several crop growing areas, and it may be a while before the end of tunnel is sighted. All right, nothing very new. Like all this we discussed yesterday, but this is a editorial, and దీంట్లో everything is negative except the agriculture part and the IHS market ఇచ్చే manufacturing marketing index, purchasing managers index. I'm sorry. Okay. The next article in the editorial pages, it basically deals with something called academics. Okay, it is aimed at education sector. Dil academics ఏంటి. Now it gives an introduction on the COVID and COVID-19 pandemic lo ela educational institutions have suffered, and it in a larger perspective it raised the specter of educational institutions shutting their doors completely or taking unprecedented steps that have invariably affected jobs and livelihoods. And shifting gears, in the agricultural setup, in the developed West or developing nations, economics అనేది it has always been a part of academics. Okay, and it is present circumstances this has become more viable. So academics అనేది it would imply a careful allocation of resources, keeping in mind the transient nature of issue of how long it is going to come back to the steady state it once was. So academics law there would be, this is the actual definition, seeing the economics of moving on to an online mode of teaching learning process, whether it's going to be a temporary phenomena or something which will be a mix of offered or a permanent alternative to current scheme. For example, if you see the US, which is the famous mecca of higher education, the elite private and the state subsidized universities have endowments that can be used for wide range. Like Harvard University, they have an endowment almost $40 billion. And by contrast, private academic, which are not for profit, do not have any such buffers. And none of the institutions possess big corpuses from alumni or industry. So economics అనేది it's not very deeply ingrained in India. And in the way it's set up, private universities are hardly in a position to meet the COVID-19 pandemic. And the status quo with respect to fixed costs is the same, like marginal adjustments to electricity, వాటర్, సాలరీస్ ఇవన్నీ చేస్తున్నారు. బట్ ఇలాంటి సెల్ఫ్ ఫైనాన్స్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్ ప్రాబ్లం ఏంటంటే, ఇన్ టైమ్ ఆఫ్ పాండమిక్ అండ్ జాబ్ లాస్, స్టూడెంట్స్ స్టూడెంట్స్ ప్లీడ్ ఇనబిలిటీ టు పే ద రిక్విజిట్ ఫీ, దేర్ బై ప్లేసింగ్ అడిషనల్ బర్డెన్ ఆన్ ద మేనేజ్మెంట్. సో ఇలా అన్ని ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ ఉన్నాయి. సో వీటన్నిటికీ సొల్యూషన్ అకార్డింగ్ టు ఆథర్ దిస్ హీస్ సెయింగ్ దట్ ద first, the scale of operations would include a dual mode of online and offline due to dual mode of education delivery. And the new social distancing norm వల్ల smaller class sizes and దానివల్ల టీచింగ్ లోడ్ పెరుగుతుంది. And second, online mode brings in with it increased costs of IT infrastructure like network bandwidth, cloud resources, software licensing fee. ఇప్పుడు ఆన్లైన్ క్లాసెస్ చెప్పాలంటే ఎనీబడి కెనాట్ టేక్ ఇట్. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇన్ ఈ తరగతి వీ హ్యావ్ అ కంపల్సరీ రూల్ across all faculty that they should be 100 Mbps download and upload speed, for the fiber networks. So అలాంటి నెట్వర్క్ బ్యాండ్విడ్త్ కూడా ఉండాలి. అండ్ ఆన్లైన్ టీచింగ్లో దేర్ షుడ్ బి హైరింగ్ ఇన్ ఐటీ సెక్టర్ అండ్ ఎంగేజ్మెంట్స్ ఇన్ మ్యాసివ్ ఆన్లైన్ ఓపెన్ కోర్సెస్. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఈ తరగతి వెబ్సైట్ చేయడానికి వీ హ్యావ్ ఇన్వాల్వ్డ్ విత్ మెనీ ఐటీ పీపుల్ ఫర్ ద వెబ్ డిజైన్ వర్క్. అలాగే ఆన్లైన్ టీచింగ్లో దే షుడ్ బి మల్టిపుల్ స్టూడియోస్ అండ్ ఎడ్యుకేషనల్ టెక్నాలజీ సెంటర్ అండ్ క్రియేషన్ ఆఫ్ వర్చువల్ ల్యాబ్స్ కావాలి. Like recently in educational sector, we have been seeing the role of VR studios ఎలా అయితే ఉన్నాయో, virtual reality and even augmented reality. So both of them, they're taking part in education now very soon. So this is also additional cost. And finally, it is wrong that all faculty members are adept in online teaching and having inadequate personal grooming and rattling off from a teleprompter. Okay. Therefore, additional funds have to be allocated to train faculty for online teaching. అంటే జస్ట్ ఎవరైనా ఎనీబడి హూ కెన్ బి ఆన్లైన్ టీచర్ అనేది కూడా రాంగ్. దే షుడ్ బి అన్ అడెప్ట్ ఫ్యాకల్టీ కాస్ట్ ఆల్సో. సో ఇలాంటి సిచ్యుయేషన్లో ద రిఫార్మ్స్ షుడ్ బి ఫర్ ప్రొఫెషనల్ అండ్ నాన్ ప్రొఫెషనల్ కోర్సెస్ న్యాచురల్ టెండెన్సీ వుడ్ బి ఫర్ ఆప్ట్ ఫర్ ఆన్లైన్ కోర్సెస్. ఎందుకంటే దే కెన్ సేవ్ ఆన్ హాస్టల్ మెస్ అండ్ ట్రావెల్ కాస్ట్, అండ్ అట్ సేమ్ టైమ్ ద స్టూడెంట్ looking at online instruction would be disinclined to pay the same fee for offline instruction. So therefore, owing to academics, the consequences can be quite dire with the potential to cause irreparable and long-term harm to the younger generation. So ఇప్పుడు ఏం చేయాలంటే the government and regulatory bodies to not interfere in the fee structure, and they can even consider a higher degree of financial autonomy. Of course, long run లో ఇప్పుడు చూస్తే టెక్నాలజీ అనేది it can flatten the cost of scale. But short frame lo, the cost of education will go up. And India lo, with the education and financial models are inverted, and there is good quality private school education, but it is very expensive. So replicating the Western model is not correct in India, and educational institutions can be treated like any other corporate body with a small margin of profit. And the corporate model addresses not just financial sustainability but also professional governance structure. So academics అనేది it's a future, and it will not only decide the fate of economic sector but also the quality, ranking, research and innovation potential in the country. All right, so it's a very detailed article on the academics and online education and the role of technology in education. Even if you see the National Educational Policy 2020, which was released by Kasturi Rangan panel, there also there is a huge scope on digital education. And even our platform like eTargati, even we are focused on digitalizing the education and giving students the best of courses using the best of infrastructure. Like part of this current affairs class also is part of that only. So ఇలాంటి టైంలో you can definitely expect a question on academics or the role of technology in education, because it's a buzzword these days, and COVID-19 pandemic వల్ల కూడా it's been affect education sector లో. సో యూ షుడ్ ఒక జనరల్ ఆన్సర్ కాకుండా అసలు ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ ఏంటి అని ఇలాంటి ఇష్యూస్ యూ షుడ్ బి ఏబుల్ టు ఫోకస్. ఎలా ఎక్స్పెన్సివ్ అవుతుంది, ఐటీ ఇన్ఫ్రాస్ట్రక్చర్ కావాలి వాళ్ళకి, స్టూడియోస్ అండ్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ టెక్నాలజీ కావాలి, మన ఆన్లైన్ టీచింగ్ కావాలి. సో ఇవన్నిటికి పాసిబుల్ రిఫార్మ్స్ ఏమైతే ఉన్నాయో ఇట్ షుడ్ బి ఫోకస్డ్ అపాన్. రైట్, ద నెక్స్ట్ ఆర్టికల్, treating data as commons. Now this basic the article yesterday, the Gopal Krishnan committee, it submitted the draft report on using non-personal data. Okay. Please remember this committee name. It's important for preliminary examinations. It is set up for framework on non-personal data. And the report main purpose is to ensure wide sharing and availability of data in society. So that companies share the required data, it was found necessary to develop strong conceptual and legal basis. And you should know that mostly in the modern world of modern digital economy, the infrastructure like data, roads, electricity, all of them are publicly owned. Private sector undi kani, but their role is very small, as these were run with closely regulated public utilities. So the society's data have a similar nature for digital economy. Now digital age law came up with very useful digital services that everyone lapped up. Many of these were free or highly subsidized. So the infrastructure versus OTT services ఏవైతే ఉన్నాయో have become too significant. So ఇలాంటి బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ అంతా ఇచ్చారు ఇక్కడ, అండ్ హీ కంపేర్డ్ ఆల్సో with the global domination of US and Chinese companies. So consumers data and big data ఎలా యూస్ చేస్తున్నారు, and the monopoly is addressed by the separating the infrastructural elements from the business of digital service delivery, data and cloud computing తో. ఇక్కడ the Gopal Krishnan report and they focus on the infrastructural element. So infrastructure should be equitably provided for all businesses, and the data have similar characteristics, but today dominant digital corporations are building exclusive control, and startups are also trying to do the same thing. So what is needed is treating data as commons. So digital businesses then shift their key business advantage to exclusive data, this one. And the Gopal Krishnan committee takes such infrastructural point. He says that the data collected from various communities are considered to be owned by the relevant community. So that community ownership means that the data should be shared back with all who would need it in the society. So this is the main punchline of the whole article. And with a robust data or artificial intelligence, the dependence in US and Chinese companies would reduce. So community data concept has been introduced by Gopal Krishnan Committee. Okay. And only data from non-privately owned sources, from society or community sources, have to be shared for requested for. Data from private sources would be private. And since a community requires a legally recognizable body to articulate data ownership, there would also be community trustees. And data collectors are considered as data custodians, and data trusts are data infrastructure. And the committee also recommends a new legislation, a non-personal data authority, to be envisaged for enabling and regulating all the envisaged data sharing. And India is the first country to come up, something related to non-personal data, and it can be a first mover advantage for India for rightful place in the digital world. Okay, so just remember Gopal Krishnan Committee and non-personal data pen, how it was, you know, committed. And presently, of course, it's a draft report, so it's not very important for the examination because it's still in the draft stage. But the basic from the draft నుంచి అర్థం చేసుకోవాల్సింది ఏంటంటే నాన్ పర్సనల్ డేటా అంటే ఏంటంటే ఇండివిజువల్స్ నుంచి కాదు అది. ఇట్ బేసిక్లీ డీల్స్ విత్ ద హోల్ కమ్యూనిటీ, ద హోల్ సొసైటీ నుంచి వచ్చే డేటాని ద కమ్యూనిటీ డేటా అంటున్నాం మనం. అండ్ దట్ ఈస్ ద నాన్ పర్సనల్ డేటా. అండ్ ఆ కమ్యూనిటీ డేటా కోసం దేర్ వుడ్ బి అ కమ్యూనిటీ ట్రస్టీ, అండ్ ఆ డేటా కలెక్ట్ చేసే వాళ్ళు దేర్ వుడ్ బి డేటా కస్టోడియన్, అండ్ ఒక నాన్ పర్సనల్ డేటా అథారిటీ కూడా పెట్టాలని ద కమిటీ హెస్ టోల్డ్. దిస్ అన్ evolving టాపిక్. I'm sure we'll be getting a lot of more authentic information about the non-personal data. From the article, the basic takeaway is Gopal Krishnan Committee and it's constituted for non-personal data. The next, under national news, we have two important articles. The Covishield vaccine ఏదైతే డెవలప్ అయిందో by the Oxford University and the Serum Institute partnered with the Oxford University to manufacture the Covishield, and it's supplied to the JSSHER for the trials. JSHER అంటే basically it is JSS Academy of Higher Education and Research. So ఇక్కడ some 25 healthy volunteers లో this trial is going on in Mysuru. Okay, you should just remember the Covishield vaccine. This we've discussed at length in the last week. Covishield vaccine developed by Oxford University and British Swedish MNC, which is AstraZeneca. దీంతో Serum Institute has partnered. Okay, Oxford University plus AstraZeneca. దీంతో in partnership with Serum Institute of India. Even a question on Covishield, say it would focus on these three only from a prelims point of view. Another news is the India and Russia, they would hold naval drills in the Andaman Sea. In the Indian Ocean region, they would hold the bilateral naval exercise Indra 2020 close to Malacca Strait. So 3 Russian ships they will take part antunaru along with Indian Navy and some aircraft. And this coincides with Rajnath Singh's visit for Russia for the SCO Defense Ministers meet. And it also comes just after India withdrew from the Kavkaz multinational exercise in Russia. The main reason is because of COVID-19 pandemic, but people are also saying it is due to the participation of Chinese troops. Okay. Some sources are saying Kavkaz 2020 అనేది it's by Russia. Okay, అక్కడ Chinese troops కూడా వస్తున్నారు కాబట్టి India has withdrew from it. And in July, frontline warships of Indian Navy, we also conducted a PASEX with the US aircraft carrier USS Nimitz. in the same area near Andaman and Nicobar. USS Nimitz was basically returning from the South China Sea, where it undertook freedom of navigation operations. USS Nimitz, obviously name nunchi you can understand, USS, so it's by the US Navy, and India and US Navy, they conducted PASEX. So Russia to we have Indra, which is naval exercise, and USA to we have something called PASEX. All these are naval exercises, and they're very important for preliminary type of examinations. Such defense operations are regularly asked. The next, under the economy section, yesterday the GST revenue in August stood at 86,000 crore, only 1% more than collected in July. And year by year basis, you see the GST collection has actually dropped 12%. Okay, you can add it to the figure of 23.9% GDP growth ఏదైతే fall అయిందో దాంతో you can also add 12% GST కూడా growth fall అయింది. And revenues from import, it dropped 23%, and revenues from domestic transaction 8%. Okay. And in another economy news, we have the insurance regulator. It has constituted a 6-member panel on index linked products following requests for permission from life insurances for introducing such products. So currently IRDAI regulation do not specifically permit insurers to sell index linked products, and they're taking consideration of such requests from life insurers. And this is basically by Dinesh Pant. Deen kinda the committee is formed, IRDA. So for banking examinations and all, you can get Dinesh Pant working group. It is related to what? It's related to IRDA. So nothing has come out of the committee. They're just looking into index linked products and inflation linked insurance పెట్టగలితే ఎలా ఉంటుంది అని they're still examining. And it will also examine the products earlier available in market in terms of product structure, ease of customer understanding, and administrative processes. And the group whose other members are from private life insurances, they have given 2 months to submit the report. So just remember Dinesh Pant, and they are linked with IRDI panel for index linked life products. The last article for today is, which we discussed in the editorial page also, that the manufacturing activity, it re-entered the growth territory, driven by rebound in production volume and new work. So the headline sensational seasonally adjusted IHS Market India PMI. So basically this is a measure of manufacturing sector in the country, PMI. And ఎవరైతే మేనేజర్స్ ఉంటారో the purchasing managers వాళ్ళు ఎంత ముందే how much they buy the manufacturing కావాల్సిన inputs. So దాన్ని it is done by IHS Market India. Okay. And it signals an improvement in operating condition across manufacturing sector following 4 consecutive months of contraction. So just there is some growth from 46 to 52. Okay. And despite an expansion in new orders, job shedding matram avutundi. So the relocation of employees following COVID-19 pandemic, it is linked to reduction in staffing members. And there is decline in foreign exports and all that, which we discussed in the editorial page. And higher raw material costs due to supply shortages, all this also is happening. And the only takeaway is that the PMI on the whole, it has rise from 46 to 52. Okay. So that's it, friends. That is our discussion of the news analysis today. There are some sample mains questions for you. What do you understand by the term academics? So which we discussed in the article, academics and economics ela kalpi online education or MOOCs, and how it will change from offline to online, asal temporary adi or permanent anedi. That is the scope of academics. And educational sector lo chuste, you should see the benefits it offers and the challenges it has. and you can conclude with the national new educational policy 2020 and its role in the digital education. The next question is, examine the crisis in telecom sector regarding the AGR issue. What is its impact on the larger scale of Indian economy? So this question basically we discuss at length what is AGR and Adela, how is it charged on both the spectrum usage fee and the licensing fee. And the core issue is that the telecoms companies were saying it should be limited only to the core, while the government and Supreme Court it has held that non-core activities కూడా ఉంటాయి దీంట్లో. Non-core activity అంటే basically interest on deposit or sale of assets, interest which they earn on deposits. All these factors also are included in the ruling వచ్చింది. In October 2019, they told only 3 months లో they should submit a huge payment. Total చూస్తే 1.47 lakh crores the AGR dues are there, right? And ఇప్పుడు నిన్న వచ్చిన సుప్రీం కోర్ట్ జడ్జ్మెంట్లో యూ కెన్ ఆల్సో మెన్షన్ that 10 years time has been given. 10 years and 10% each year should be submitted by the telecom companies. And the impact you should focus on how it can become, the telecom sector can become a duopoly between Jio and Airtel. You can actually mention the names Jio and Airtel since it's mentioned by the Supreme Court also. And బ్యాంకింగ్ సెక్టర్ పైన ఎలాంటి ఎఫెక్ట్ పడుతుంది అండ్ ఎన్పిఎస్ ఎలా రైజ్ అవుతాయి దానివల్ల అండ్ వోడాఫోన్ ఇఫ్ ఇట్ షట్స్ యువర్ వాట్ ఆర్ ద ఇంపాక్ట్. సో అవన్నీ యూ కెన్ కోరిలేట్ విత్ ద ఇంపాక్ట్ ఆన్ ఇండియన్ ఎకానమీ యాజ్ సచ్. ఓకే, so that's it friends, hope you had a good and informative session. So please write your answers and submit by 5 p.m. They would be corrected and given back to you. And as I already mentioned, please concentrate more on the answer writing part now, people who are preparing for group 1 mains, and of course people who are preparing for UPSC also. Maybe this 1 week you focus more on these current affairs, then tarvata you should shift back to your static preparation. Okay, all right friends, all the very best, keep studying well, and we'll meet tomorrow. Bye.